And welcome back to Fan Bro Show. Hope you've been enjoying this episode. As always, make sure you're subscribed on iTunes, on YouTube, on Spotify, wherever you're at. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those great places. Thank you for all the love. And before we get out of here tonight, we got some more to talk about because there is a lot of things going on. The new Venom trailer dropped, starring the brother, I almost called him Tom Brady, but Tom Hardy, as Venom. And
what does that mean? You did okay. So here's my thing. I was actually very intrigued when I saw this trailer, trailer 2. Trailer 1, I pretty much clowned because Venom just looked very wet to me for some reason and very nasty and slimy. And that's just not the vision I had in my head. Again, I'm thinking of the 90s cartoon. So that's probably part of what's framing my reference. But it looked strange to me at that time when I saw the original trailer 1, which is very short. This trailer is much longer, and you pretty much see Venom fucking shit up, for lack of a better word. I thought it looked exciting. It looked very Fox-like. Is it Fox that's doing this?
Sony,
excuse me. It looked very Sony-like. It looked very
not like Marvel.
It looked very not Marvel, but Sony-like in the sense of when you first saw when they first did Spider-Man, where they was really trying to shock the system with some new. This, to me, I got the same vibes. At the same time, the CG is a little off. So there's something still a little off to me about the CG, about possibly the way Venom looks. But again, I think that is, with time, it might improve. And again, this is still technically early. We don't know what's going to happen in the finished product. Overall, I thought it was kind of exciting. Like I thought, okay, well, this is interesting. There was some stuff that's confused me during the trailer, such as Tom Hardy's accent or whatever that was. I wasn't quite sure where he was from or where he represented. Aren't they in San Francisco? So I don't know where he's from or where he came from or whatever. So that was kind of all over the place. That being said, you do get to see Venom taking over. And he's Eddie Brock, right? You get to see Venom take him over. You get to see them using the terms of we when you're speaking as themselves as one entity, as opposed to one, we don't do this or we don't do that. You see Venom just, again, as I mentioned before, fucking shit up. You see Venom threatening to eat people, according to that last line in the trailer, turning them into turd in the wind, which was not a good line at all.
No.
That
lost me. That was like the dab. That was like
that goes towards
dab bad. Like
vision part for me, where, and it happens a lot with Sony movies. The dialogue is highly questionable. Again, this is still early stages, so okay. But just based on the action stuff I saw, it looked intriguing.
I wasn't feeling that shit, man. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like it.
Yeah.
It just annoys me because how do you have this movie without Spider-Man? You put this man.
It's very strange.
I didn't even see the spider symbol.
No, you won't see
it.
You
won't see it because they say Spider-Man, as far as they're concerned, don't even exist in this realm, which doesn't make any sense.
And you know what? If you're gonna completely botch the Spider-Man lore and do your own thing, then you gotta go above and beyond. At least speaking for myself, you gotta go above and beyond to show me that this movie is gonna be dope, so I can look at it like an Elseworld movie in a world where a character that was inspired by the franchise leading character that you have for your studio does not exist. This is what we get, right? There was some thrilling parts. I'm not gonna front. There was some thrilling parts to me, but the dialogue was just.
Yeah,
very questionable.
That's Tom Hardy with a synthesizer on his voice. I don't know if this is a totally different person. It just, the dialogue, Venom's dialogue, threw me off. He looks like Nickelodeon slime, blackened slime. That's it, and it just, I don't know, man. Like I know I'm gonna see it. I don't want to see it.
I'm on the fence.
Rubberneck. It's like rubbernecking for me. Like it's like I'm intrigued enough that I may begrudgingly go see it, but do believe that trailer was not all that, man. That trailer was not all that.
It's still, it got me from a solid no to I'm on the fence, but I'm still not sure. Like if I sound very tentative, that's right. That's how I feel. The trailer just made me just more concerned about being confused about what's happening.
Now, see, one thing that really does, like me, I'm not even gonna front to y'all. No matter how I feel about it, I'm there day one because it's Venom, and it's Tom Hardy, and I like both of them enough where I'm there day one. And one thing that does intrigue me is that Ruben Fleischer is the director, and he also did Zombieland. Because I was talking about this on Twitter today with somebody about it, and we were like, it doesn't feel like it's really going hard enough on like, yo, this is ridiculous. This might be trash. This might be B movie, but it's going to be the best B movie you ever saw. And that's what I want them to go with because it's Venom, it's the 90s. I want them to go all the way in and just accept that either it's to be goofy and not like really like when he was making that speech to the guy talking about the role, it was like a long ass speech about turning you into a rolling ball turd.
First of all, I don't think Venom would be having speeches with anybody. What I mean. Like I've never recalled Venom having these long ass.
Unless it's for Peter. Unless it's for Peter.
Unless it's for Peter, and that's saying Peter is such an not Peter, but Spider-Man is such an integral part of what makes Venom Venom. It's such an integral part of the relationship between that, the symbiote and Eddie, and like Eddie and Peter. Like it's just again, I'm just that's confusing.
And Venom is not Shakespearean.
No.
This is not King Lear with a symbiote.
Even taking all that away from it, my problem was I thought Venom looked cool enough, but in this movie, so far it seems that he's battling Riot, who is another symbiote, character, but he's a gray with like black, stuff on him version. So when you even see him in the trailer for a quick, brief instant, it just looked like a hot mess because it's like the black and the gray.
I didn't even notice. I didn't even realize he was in it.
Oh yeah, he's in it. But the black and the gray cinematically doesn't look good. And I don't like Carnage. I just think Carnage would have been a much better choice.
I like Carnage.
To have that black versus red on screen. If you're gonna do two of these characters together, black and gray, I think was a bad choice. That it just doesn't look good. Well,
the other part that confused me is I'm trying to understand the tone of the movie because. And at first it seemed like they're billing it like horror, but then they're billing it also like a dark comedy.
Yeah.
And not to say you can't be both. You can transcend genres. It's not the problem. It's just that it feels confused itself on what genre is trying to be in. Like it's trying too hard to be cool, like a Spider-Man 3 kind of thing. So
see, that's once again, I like I say, I have faith in it because it's funny because everything you're bringing up is making me have more faith in it because it goes back to Zombieland. It's just like when James Gunn took over from Guardians in the first place. I knew he was going to do a good job because I'd seen his movie Slither, and Slither has all the elements that you see in Guardians of the Galaxy. And so I knew he was going to do a good job of that. And so this gives me hope. Like it really is in the director because I think he can handle that merge, of horror and black comedy, dark comedy, whatever you want to call it, together.
I'm still confused. That's not and again, what I had said in the beginning of my chat was that it still is intriguing. So something I do want to see. The cast with Michelle Williams, Woody Harrelson, you have Riz Ahmed, Michelle Lee, like you got some good peoples there. Yeah. I did not see Zombieland because I don't like Jesse Eisenberg like that, but I will take your word for it, Ben.
Yeah, that movie's dope, yo. It's really dope. I read the script recently. Even the script is good. Yeah, that's a dope movie. They're doing a part 2 to that.
Yeah. And when I say I don't like Jesse, I don't mean as a person. I know, and there's not.
No, but there's even a big cameo in that film that if you don't know about, I don't want to spoil it, but you should see it for that. Like,
well, I'll watch it.
Someone shows up in that film, and it's just magic.
I don't like many of the characters he's portrayed. Let me be more clear. Because
I
don't want. That's another thing. We've said it before on the show about conflating characters with the actual people. So I want to make that distinction. But so Venom trailer is out. Venom trailer 2 rather is out. Watch it. Tell us what you think. We've posted it on our IG. Hit up our IG page. Make sure you're subscribed or you're following us on IG so that you can see all the trailers and chat along with us.
And also some other news. Disney has announced they're doing a live action Lady and the Tramp.
What? What? For Oh,
Did that Beauty and the Beast joint make money like that?
it did.
I don't even remember it. Like I have
I
no,
wasn't interested because
I have no recollection of it at all. Other than I remember when the trailer. I think no, I don't know who's in it. None of that stuff. Like
Emma Watson's in it. Hermione.
oh wow, okay.
She played Belle, but
I like her, but yeah.
no, it made cash, but and it, it made cash.
Well, there you
and,
go. That's why we got Lady in the Tramp now, folks.
It's just that I wouldn't pick Lady. It's just out of all Disney movies, that's the one y'all decide y'all want to bring back. Because I know that's the wave now. They're going to make everything live action. The Jungle Book is live action. Lion King's live action. Everything's live action. But Lady and Tramp would not have been my first, second, or third choice. It also is one of the books I hated the most as a child. So
word.
I had a as a kid, my stepmother bought me like this Disney book compendium, if you will. So it was like these little skinny books, but it was all the books that ended up being movies. So Little Mermaid, Lady and the Tramp, 101 Dalmatians.
But why did you hate Lady and the Tramp is my question.
It was just weird. Like I don't know, because I was the whole dog thing, the whole thing, the anthropomorphication of thoughts. I don't know.
You couldn't get with the dogs eating spaghetti.
It just wasn't my thing, and
it was already on fish and spaghetti.
Yeah, it just wasn't my thing. It just wasn't for me. So I'm not the most excited about it. And again, we talked about confusion a few minutes ago. I am confusion about this choice that Disney made. But that being said, Kiersey Clemons, who starred in Dope, she's in talks to join this live action Disney movie.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, and Charlie Bean, who directed the Lego Ninjago movie, is directing this remake, and this is supposed to this is interesting. This is supposed to debut on Disney's digital streaming service.
Guap.
And that, my friends, is why Lady and the Tramp is coming out in live.
Yeah, guap.
Okay, but also it's on the streaming. It's not like a wide box office type release. So that was just like, that's not the first thing I would think of to put in the movie theaters, but okay, I get it.
I mean, you know.
But what's she gonna play? She's gonna play Lady?
No. She's gonna play.
She's gonna play Darling, the owner of Lady.
The owner of Lady.
Oh, so they're really doing live action. Like they're just okay. Yeah. They're just if the dogs are actually gonna be
dogs.
Huh.
Yeah. Because they don't talk, right? The dogs don't talk in Lady and the Tramp, do they?
Yeah, they do. All the animals talk.
Oh, that's weird.
That's Disney, bro.
Oh, that's so weird. That should be a weird. It's always weird when they do these live action and the animals talk. Like it's so weird.
The Jungle Book, but in the Jungle Book, in the cartoons, they talked.
I know, but in the Jungle Book movie, the live action one weirded me out when the panther started talking. It was like it just doesn't.
Well,
because the animal's mouth isn't meant. It can't produce vowel sounds. Obviously, I mean, it doesn't look right.
How you know that?
How you know they can't produce vowels? They just
have lips.
Here.
Some of them have lips. Do they have lips?
Bro, when the dogs start talking, it's the time I'm out. It's over.
It's animosity. It's animosity.
Oh my God!
Read that book, by the way. It's very good. Very good comic.
Yeah, great comic. And speaking of streaming services and anything that they will put on, we gotta do a little shout out to, happy born day to Chico Leo, and shout out to, Chico's pick of the week and Netflix.
So
I don't know if qualifies picks of the week. Depending
on what floats your boat. I saw this movie while I was getting my hair braided. So it might be one of those movies where you could have one in the background, not paying attention to, but jump in every so often.
I think that helped it.
Because it pulled me in at certain points, and then it pissed me off at the very end. This movie is called How It Ends, starring Forrest Whitaker, Theo James, Nicole R.E. Parker, Kat Graham, and a few other people. Which, to be honest with you, no one else in the movie really matters.
Yeah.
Because these are the mains, and even in the mains, Nicole R.E. Parker, you see her for 5 minutes. That being said, think your typical disaster movie. Something terrible happens. Nature-wise, something terrible happens, and everybody.
It's really unclear. They never actually.
They never explain, and literally and because I guess they're trying to open up for a sequel. I don't know. They never explain why it's happening. There's lots of literally conspiracy theories that are said by different characters in the movie about what's happening and why it's happening. But long story short, it's a disaster movie, and how people are, and how the world or the society, the United States, is reacting to it. And it's the premise is literally this disaster happens. Forrest Whitaker and Theo James live in Chicago. or excuse me, Theo James is visiting Chicago. Forrest Whitaker lives in Chicago, and Forrest's daughter, Kat Graham, lives in Seattle.
Yep.
And this happens. There's, as in a disaster, all communication goes down, all sorts of shit goes wrong, and Forrest is like, I'm going to go get my daughter. So this Jeff just laughed. This whole movie is about Forrest and Theo James. Theo James is Kat Graham's fiance, but this whole movie is about them driving from Chicago to Seattle to go save Kat Graham and what happens in between. Yeah. Now, for a lot of people that'd be like, oh, that sounds stupid. I thought it was, I was like, okay, I gave it a chance because, again, I wasn't doing anything else, but I was capping for 4 hours. So it got intriguing at parts. I actually got into it after a while, but again, the ending pissed me off. It was a cop-out.
Yeah, let's not spoil the ending for anyone. I thought cinematography was great. I watched this
cinematography was good.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful cinematography, actually. I watched this movie and another joint on Netflix this week, Extinction, which is Michael Pena and
Michael Pena, who was from Ant-Man fame and other fame.
Coulter and Luke Cage in that joint. And it's not really, it's different, level of world-ending movies in both of these, but they both involve, bad things happening. The Extinction has a kind of cool twist about midway through it that I kind of figured out about 5 minutes into it. So it kind of wasn't a big twist for me.
Yeah.
Out of the two, I would recommend How It Ends
more. I would too.
Yeah, the cinematography in that is actually, some beautiful.
Yeah, I was actually impressed with the cinematography in it because it didn't read like a TV movie.
No, it's beautiful.
Because there's some Netflix entries that really read like TV movies and look like TV movies, but this one you could tell they threw money at it. So it's something. It's something to watch to pass the time if you're looking for something to do. Try it out.
Most definitely. And if you're looking for something else to do, you know what you can always do. You can buy some comic books and make sure you listen to everything in this segment we call Comic Psych. Thought a little hand movement. I had to, add to it right there with a little echo at the
end. Try to add vibrato to it.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's a great word right there. And this week, and stuff that I actually bought, physically, I want to shout out. I got the first 8 issues of the Scarlet Witch series. I think they canceled this. I'm not sure if it's still running. It was by James Robinson. It's hard to recommend. I would actually buy the trade of this, especially if you're a fan of really ill art, because every issue has a different artist, and it's a lot of artists who I know about but aren't like real mainstream artists. Like a lot of women and a lot of different people, and it's different styles of art that you get in every issue. So I would definitely look at it if you're a real art fan. I thought the story was more so that you could have all these dope artists. So that one's, I'm not really putting in a high recommendation. My pick of the week is, though, The New World by Alice Cott, who is a friend of the show, has always also been on the show before. He wrote the book Generation Gone, which I loved the effing hell out of. And he's become one of my favorite people since, because he's a person who isn't afraid to speak his mind, has a lot to say. His new trade, Days of Hate, is also out. That's also a really dope book you could check out. But I'm really recommending The New World, and it's my pick of the week this week, mainly because of the artist on it, the dude Trad Moore. He did this book that I talked about before, The Legend of Luther Strode. And Trad is just straight up and down one of the illest action artists out today. His action is mind-blowingly good. The way he draws action, the way he draws just big battle scenes, stuff like he had this car chase scene in Luther Strode that looked like it could have been straight out of the Matrix 2 car chase scene. It was just incredible stuff. He's so sick with it. So The New World is definitely my pick of the week, and definitely check that out because Alez is one of the best up-and-coming writers. And Trad, I mean, anything he draws is well worth it. He did a Venom book that was really crazy as well. He did I think it was a Venom annual or something, but it was, oh man, that shit was sick. Yep.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, so that's about it for me this week. I know there's also some news about Saga that we got to talk about that, just hurts.
Yeah. So I'd recommend, if you've been reading Saga, and if you haven't read Saga 54 by now, sit down.
Sit down.
I haven't yet.
Sit down before you read it. And then after you read it, breathe,
Mm.
and then breathe some more. And
Somebody
then
dies, right? I know it, right?
well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you
Okay.
know, if you've been reading this arc, you know nobody's safe.
Mm.
And if you're reading this series, you know nobody's safe.
Oh
But
God.
it is a lot. It's a whole lot going on. But even worse than not worse, but even crazier than the events in that book, Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples are taking an at least year-long hiatus from Saga. And you know, if you've been reading the book, you know after every arc, they take about 3 months off, 3-4 months. This time they're taking a year because he wants to rejuvenate the creative juices, take a break. He already has in his mind where everything is going to go. They just want to execute it in the best way possible. And Brian K. Vaughan still writes on Paper Girl. Like he's still working, but he's just giving Saga a rest. And, you know, I respect everything he does. He's one of the phenomenal writer, but fuck you, Brian K. Vaughan. How are you going to leave us like that? You are the Ben Vereen of comics right now. You're leaving us. We thought we were going on the truck ride with you, and we are gonna go cross country. And you telling me I'm gonna start calling you Lou? I'm gonna start calling Brian K. Vaughan Lou, bro. Like, how do you leave? And the touch that they put with it, he basically was like, yeah, I know y'all gonna hate me, but you know, check out Paper Girls if you still trying to talk. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I'm moving across the country, but you know, we can still WhatsApp or whatever the case may be. But yo, dog, it's wild. It's wild. But you know, shout out to him if he needs that year to rejuvenate. You know, do it. I'd rather that than you come out with some mediocrity. But it just shows. So there was an earlier arc in the War for Fang arc where the end of that book, if he was taking off a year, you would have been like, what the fuck? Like the difference between these two is like that one I would have been like, what the fuck, Brian? This one is more like, Brian, fuck you, dog. Like, how you gonna leave? Like, how you gonna? That's like your friend telling you the best story ever, and then their phone cuts off and they just don't call you back. Oh, dog, I'll tell you tomorrow. No, man, I'm up. Like, I need to know. Like, I'm not going to sleep until I hear the end of the story. But yeah, that book. And I also read Amazing Spider-Man #2 by Nick Spencer. Great follow-up from the first issue. The Lizard is teaching Peter Parker in college.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
And it's complicated. But when you see how they got there, it's ill. It's just ill how he's building this story so far. And yeah, there's a lot going on there too. But those two I would definitely recommend. But if you read Saga, definitely read it before people spoil. If you got through without people spoiling it, you know, salute to you. But yeah, sit down, read it, ingest it, read it again. Yeah.
That's the funny thing too, because I only read Saga in trades, but I don't know if I've managed, if I just stay off like the Saga boards and the Saga sites or whatever, but I have no clue what's going on right now because I only read it in trades. Like I had the last 6 issues. I have no idea what has happened since the last trade. And shout out to everyone for not spoiling that for me. Thank you.
People don't really tweet about Saga like that.
Yeah.
Like I try not to go because I have lists and stuff that I use on Twitter and different places. I do my best not to go into my comics list because people just, you know the rules. If you don't get your shit by Wednesday, all right, go look if you want. Go. And then shout out to all of the comic blogs that'll put brackets, spoiler, you won't believe what happens to spoiler in this episode. Let me take a wild guess what happens to somebody in this episode.
Yeah.
Way to be coy.
Yeah.
God forbid you couldn't say explosive or something else. Lead me on. Lie to me. Obscure the truth. I promise you it's okay. It's quite all right.
Nah, and we never do that over here. So thank you to everyone, as always, who has been using that hashtag comics I copped. Use it on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever, Facebook, it don't matter. Let us know what you're copping. Let us know what we should be reading. If you've been picking up the stuff that we've been recommending, thank you so much. I mean, I talk about that all the time, but it always blows my mind because I'll go through the Instagram hashtag, I go through the Twitter hashtag, and a lot of times people don't even at me or the show. And it's just like they just have these comics that we've been talking about or new comics that I've never even read. And it's always amazing. So thank you so much for that. Anything else before we get out of here tonight?
Definitely shouts and congratulations to fellow network alum Kid Fury.
Mm-hmm.
It was announced a few days ago that he is going to be working on an upcoming HBO show to be produced by Lena Waithe. First of all, what's going to be very interesting is the show is essentially about his life. It said it's going to be about following a 20-something sarcastic gay Black man navigating adulthood and responsibility in New York. And the character is going to be named Greg, which is Fury's real name, Greg. So essentially, it's a story about him, and it should be incredible. He's hilarious. He's hilarious. He's such a good person. He's very hilarious. And again, someone who is part of the Loudspeakers Network family, as you guys probably already know if you're listening to this. He's on the read along with Crystal West. Really excited to see this come together, especially because Lena is producing, like, literally in a span of a week, they just announcing day after day some new project that she was putting together.
Yeah.
So
in the bags.
Whoa. So we're definitely looking forward to that. When is it going to come out? I don't know. But again, it's going to be an HBO show.
Dope as hell. That is incredible, especially about, because his come up and his whole life story is so crazy, and it just, so much story potential right there. Wow.
Fury, let me hold $20, yo. Hold up.
Shout out to the Fan Bros, shout out to the Fan Bros Circle of Trust once again.
He
go
said
back and
$20.
$20. Let me hold a roll in your joint. Like, let's go, bro. Like, I mean, loudspeaker fam, gang.
I mean, the Circle of Trust.
Throw it
like
up.
I said, Fan Bro Show. You can go back and listen to the Kid Fury episode. It's a classic. I think he's been on here twice, right?
Yeah, he's been on, and he's a big Game of Thrones fan, so we probably gotta come together again when Game of Thrones comes back.
Oh yes, for the finale, Castle Black. We gotta have the Fury.
Seriously, man. Shout out to him, man. If for those, especially for us in here in New York, dude came up from Miami, been on his grind nonstop, really, throughout the whole time. Same dude, like. He's been really doing his thing. So I like to commend him. Keep going, keep doing it. Smash everything that you see, and then break those pieces too, and continue to ascend.
Word. And also talk about birthdays. Happy born day to Toby Wan 405.
Yes.
And happy birthday. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, let me say that real quick. Toby Wan 405 is a listener of the show, and he did a born day rhyme, on his Instagram live where he was just, rapping for his born day, and he shouted me out in the rhyme. I, blew my mind. Like, that's so crazy, yo. Thank y'all to everybody, everybody who listens and supports. That stuff, it's tears and all that. Tears for real. Amazing.
And happy recent birthday to Ato Asando, also friend of the show.
No, let's get it right. One of the mayors of the show. Ato is like.
So we have several mayors.
It's a battle between him and Dule Hill right now, I think.
What about Daniel?
Daniel older too. Damn. Yeah, three kings. Three kings. We need some queens though. Have we had any returning? Lexi's been on here twice, so Lexi's definitely, Damn, we need Lexi up in here to start battling, have a queen of the show as well, But right now we got three kings, three different mayors. We'll give them that.
Fan Bros, F-A-N-B-R-O-S.